Hello BookTube. This is going to be my August TBR, and we have a lot to get through, so let's get started. So first of all, Dickens. I don't even know how long I've been reading Dickens now. I've been doing a book every month or whatever, but August will be my final month of reading Dickens because I'll be reading The Mystery of Edwin Drood, which was Dickens's final incomplete novel, and then I'm done with Dickens. I've read all of his fiction, like all of his novels at least, and I literally thought about that this morning on my walk to the shops, and I literally don't know how to process that because I was even to this point, I would say Dickens is nowhere near my favorite author, and his catalog for me is oeuvre seems to be very inconsistent to me, but he's really won me over with when I read Our Mutual Friend. Like that book absolutely blew me away and is nearly up there with being possibly my favorite Dickens books. It's very close. The only book that really could dethrone Our Mutual Friend right now is probably the Pickwick Papers, but I don't know. I need to talk about it more when I do my July wrap up. But anyway, I'm gonna be doing oh my god, The Mystery of Edwin Drood. I don't know a single thing about it besides I've heard it's kind of like a murder mystery. I could be very very wrong about that. Like kind of Dickens doing like a Wilkie Collins style. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna be doing that, and I'm not going to do a Russian this month. I know, very shocking because there's just so much I want to get through. But I'll tell you what I have been reading. I have been reading the Three Musketeers books by Alexander Dumas, and oh my god, I'm addicted. It's crack. I have probably in 1 week I finished the Three Musketeers book, obviously, and then I finished 20 years later. And obviously, because I'm so addicted, I already have all the sequels ready, like that last third novel, 10 years later. And so you have the first Three Musketeers books, then you have 20 years later, and then after that you have 10 years later. And that book is so big, it literally, in English at least, gets split into three books. And I have all of them here. Like, this is technically one novel. And so this is, I'm not going to say the names because I literally don't even know how to speak French at all. I'm pretty useless, but we have this one here. Um, I've heard from the sequels that the Musketeers kind of become side characters. This is the second part. And then it ends with the Man in the Iron Mask, which is, I know nothing about the Man in the Iron Mask. I've never seen the adaptations, and I literally know nothing. But I have heard that the Musketeers towards the like in this last book become very much minor characters, and like the more historical parts of the story take over more, and I'm happy with that because I just love Dumas. He's really becoming a favorite writer. I don't know if the Musketeers are gonna overtake the Count for me personally, but it kind of, I'm trying to process this because when I think of it, really reminds me of Victor Hugo. How you have Les Mis and then you have the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I've never really liked Les Mis that much. I love the Hunchback of Notre Dame so much. I think it's genuinely a perfect book. And so it kind of, I've always kind of compared that to Dumas with the Count and the Three Musketeers in terms of like the big, chunky historical novel compared to the more tightly written and more clear and condensed story like the Three Musketeers compared to the Count. But I realize that's very different because I can't pick between the Three Musketeers and the Count. I think both are just incredible, and anyway, I love them so much. So I'm going to be reading hopefully those three volumes, and I'll be done with the Three Musketeers. And I know there are some short stories connected, like the Red Sphinx and some other ones, but I'll stick to those right now. So anyway, I'm going to be doing the Three Musketeers books. I'm going to be doing Dickens, and then I want to do something a bit ambitious because I'm me, and I thought I would read Flannery O'Connor again. Now I've always loved Flannery O'Connor. I read her as a teen, and she literally became my all-time favorite author. I thought she was the greatest thing ever. I loved her so much. I love her two short story collections, and I love her two novels. I always thought she was a better short story writer than a novelist, but even then, her novels gripped me so hard. I did love her essays and letters too. I literally read everything, and so I thought it's time to go back because ever since then I have reread A Good Man Is Hard to Find, the first short story collection she published, but I never returned to anything else because I thought I would do them all together. And so I thought, why not do this month? So I have all of them here. I don't know if I'll do the essays and letters. I'll probably, I don't know if I get to them, but I definitely want to do her two novels and her two short story collections because I need a fix of Flannery. I always loved her so much. She is genuinely one of my favorite writers ever. And I want to see if she's as perfect as I remember. She probably is, but we'll see. And I love her so much. I can't even begin. And then I have here some non-fiction I want to get to too. And this is probably some boring Australian stuff, but we have Billy Hughes here by Audryn Hughes. This is a short biography of Billy Hughes. He was one of like a prime minister we had during the end of World War One. He had a long career in politics. There was at one point where the Labour Party at the start of World War Two were gonna push him as a candidate to be our prime minister, despite the fact he was literally 80. But that didn't happen, and we had Menzies instead. But anyway, I don't know much about Billy Hughes. I know, besides the fact he lasted a very long time in Parliament, and there isn't much about him in terms of books. Like, there's probably this and one other one that I found, but I want to see what people think of him, because I know he's very divisive. Like, he was very much loved by the soldiers and all that, but outside of that, he really wasn't respected or really admired. But yeah, I want to see how I go with him. So it's very short, so I'll get throughout in literally a day. And then this is another possibility. I do want to get to, I've shown this on my channel, but there's two massive volumes of John Curtin's War. This is John Curtin, our Prime Minister, and how pretty much he led his way through World War II and guided us, and also ripped into Churchill at certain times through letters, and I'm always down for that. And so I don't know how much I'll get through this, but I do want to get through it. And so yeah, that's pretty much what I want to get through. There's a couple more things that I'll talk about in a later video. But yeah, that was a quick TBR for August. Let me know what you think about these books and what are you going to be reading for August. And yeah, thank you so much for watching BookTube, and I'll see you next time.